Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, right? Yeah. They're going back and forth. And Jamil Hill says by the time Angel Reese is done, she's going to be the Michael Jordan of WNBA.
Up the mic, hop in the car, on the plane, or wherever. That ain't going to happen. You said, I'm not having it. That's me. So, again, without judging somebody else, we understand that everybody's got their own taste, their own flavor, and certainly their own rights. But there are other people that's going to exercise.
In the pressure-packed world of professional sports, some moments do far more than decide a single game. They can reshape the conversation around an athlete in a matter of seconds. One missed opportunity, one unexpected reaction, and suddenly an entire storyline takes on a life of its own. Few young player matchups have generated as much attention as Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Their rivalry has been discussed from college, basketball, all the way to the WNBA, with fans constantly comparing their playing styles, personalities, and paths to becoming stars. Every matchup brings another wave of headlines, debates, and social media reactions. And that is exactly why the final moments of a dramatic game can become so powerful. With the clock winding down, the game was hanging in the balance. A breakdown in the defense created an opening near the basket, and Reese found herself with a chance to make a huge play. There was no complicated shot required. It was simply an opportunity to finish around the rim and potentially change the outcome. She went up for the attempt. The shot bounced off the rim. The final seconds disappeared. And suddenly, the entire arena was reacting to one possession. The miss immediately became the defining moment of the night for many viewers. Even though a single play can never tell the full story of an athlete's performance. Within minutes, clips were circulating online. Fans were debating what happened, and commentators were analyzing every detail of the final sequence. Then, the cameras turned toward Clark. That image became another major talking point. Clark appeared to react while watching the play from the other side of the court, and viewers quickly began interpreting her expression in completely different ways. Some fans believed she was laughing at the situation, while others argued that the reaction was simply an emotional response to the intensity of the moment. And that's where the story became much bigger than basketball. Social media transformed that one final possession into another chapter in the ongoing Clark-Reese conversation. Every frame was analyzed. Every facial expression became a headline. Fans on both sides rushed to defend their favorite player, while sports commentators debated whether the rivalry had become bigger than the actual games. To understand why the moment generated so much attention, you have to understand the history between these two stars.
In the video of the guy pretending to be Angel Reese, I mean, she literally hit the floor, put her hands over her head. Sorry, guys. Hit the floor, put her hands over her head like, oh my God, I messed up. Yeah, you messed up real bad, Angel. Real bad. But let's pull up the meme right now and let me show y'all this. So DraftKings was the one who reposted this. They said Caitlin Clark laughing at Angel Reese, bruh, after the Angel Reese missed layup to win by a buzzer beater. The rivalry is definitely still alive, bruh. And I'm here to tell you, this is the face of defeat. I'm telling you right now, Angel Reese is defeated. And one thing I always tell you guys, y'all should know this. The internet will give it, and the internet will damn sure take it away. Y'all ever heard the saying, at this moment you knew you messed up? This is the look Angel Reese had on her face. At this exact moment, she knew she's gonna be the laughing stock of the basketball world for the next 48 hours. That's exactly what happened. And it was so bad, Angel Reese did not speak to reporters after the damn game.
Please take me through that fourth and overtime. They outscored 31-19. What changed in that?
Between these two stars, Clark has built her reputation around perimeter shooting, elite passing, creativity, and the ability to stretch defenses from almost anywhere on the court. She can pull up from deep, create opportunities for teammates, and turn a routine possession into a highlight in seconds. Reese brings a completely different style. She is known for her physical presence around the basket, rebounding ability, toughness, and confidence. She attacks the paint, competes for position, and plays with an intensity that has helped make her one of the league's most recognizable young stars. Those contrasting styles are part of what makes their matchup so compelling. One player cannot change the game from the perimeter. The other can control the interior. Some relies heavily on spacing and playmaking. The other thrives on physicality and inside scoring. And when those styles meet, every possession feels magnified. But calling their relationship a simple personal feud would oversimplify the situation. Much of the rivalry has been amplified by fans, media coverage, and constant comparisons. Both players have their own careers, teammates, challenges, and goals beyond the rivalry narrative. Still, when millions of people are watching, the pressure becomes enormous. As the fourth quarter approached its conclusion, that pressure reached its peak. The score was close, the defense was scrambling, and every possession carried enormous importance. Then Reese received the opportunity near the rim. She went for it. The ball hit the iron. The buzzer sounded, game over. And just like that, one ordinary basketball action became the centerpiece of an enormous online debate. The most interesting part isn't simply that the shot missed. Great players miss shots. Even the greatest players in basketball history have missed game-winning opportunities. The real
This year in the WNBA, there's 34 players who take 4 more shots per game within 5 feet. Those shots, layups, floaters, just really close to the basket. Looking at Reese compared to her peers, she's first in attempts per game, shots that close.
Jeez, she's first in attempts per game for shots that close, and she's dead last in field goal percentage from shots that close. Oh, these are good numbers right here, Uncut Hoops. These are good numbers right here.
Here's the sad thing. It's our third percentage, she's dead last, 34 of 34.
Want to be a little more specific? There's good and there's not good. This is not good.
Now narrow it down to paint scoring, shots at the rim. These shots quite literally are layups and gimmies. Out of players in the WNBA, typically use 2 layups per game. Reese, one of those players, is first in attempts at just over 9. But looking at the percentage, she's 73rd, third to last. And here's the sad thing. The 2 players behind her, you have Jordan Harrison, who's 5'6", and Skylar Diggins, who's 5'9".
Jordan Harrison. Folks, I gotta be honest with you. I've never even heard of that name before. I've never even heard of Jordan Harrison's name before. But this is crazy. 75 players, 2 field goal attempts per game in the paint. Bottom 3 in percentage. Reese, Harrison, and Skylar Diggins. Wow.
Who's 5'9". Looking at Reese right here, it's pretty embarrassing, as unlike Caitlin Clark, who pulls from 35 feet routinely, and Reese's radius is about 5 feet, and even then, her efficiency is piss poor on the level of guards who are 5'6". Now, looking at Caitlin Clark skyrocketing superstardom, it's based off of her game, what she does on the floor. As looking at her post-injury off-minutes restriction, last 11 games been a thing of beauty. Points per game, 26 points.
This is disgusting. 26, 9.4, 1.3 steals per game, 50, 40, 87. Whew.
The real story is what happens afterward. Does the player allow one mistake to define her? Or does she use it as motivation for the next opportunity? That's where careers are really shaped. And while the internet may remember the missed layup, the next chapter of this rivalry will ultimately be written by what both Clark and Reese do after the cameras turn off. Because in professional basketball, one possession can create a headline, but consistency is what creates a legacy. The moment was supposed to be remembered as one missed layup. Instead, it exploded into a much bigger conversation about pressure, rivalry, sportsmanship, and what happens when a single viral image takes on a life of its own. As the clip of Caitlin Clark laughing spread across social media, the story quickly became bigger than the final possession. Fans began debating whether Clark was simply reacting to an unbelievable basketball moment or intentionally sending a message to her longtime rival. And that distinction matters, because everything that followed was driven by interpretation, emotion, and speculation rather than anything officially confirmed. Within hours, social media was flooded with competing narratives. Some fans argued that Clark's reaction was nothing more than the natural emotion of an intense game, while others viewed the smile and laughter as a deliberate psychological jab aimed directly at Angel Reese. The clip was replayed, slowed down, analyzed frame by frame, and turned into countless posts, reaction videos, and heated debates. One missed shot had suddenly become the centerpiece of an enormous online argument. Then came the rumors. Unverified stories began circulating about what supposedly happened after the game, with some claiming that Reese's camp was furious about the viral footage and the relentless criticism that followed. Other posts went even further, suggesting that legal action or harassment complaints were being considered. But there is a huge difference between internet speculation and verified reporting, and there was no confirmed evidence establishing that any lawsuit or formal legal action actually resulted from Clark's reaction.
Okay, Indiana Fever vs. Chicago Sky on ABC. ABC averaged 2.6 million viewers, up 79%. It says WNBA on ESPN networks is up 5%. Caitlin Clark shutting down the ratings, shutting it down, taking it over. MVP on the court, off the court, in the box score, in the television box offices, everywhere. MVP everywhere. MVCC. That's what it is. Okay, ESPN delivered its second most watched WNBA game ever for the second consecutive week. It says this matchup ranks as ESPN Network's second most viewed WNBA game on record, including both regular season and playoff games. The audience was up 79% compared to last year's ABC regular season average. Okay. Here it says through 22 games, WNBA on ESPN Network is averaging 1.3 million viewers, up 5%. So she doubled what the average is. The average is at 1.3. She doubled it. I mean, it's that simple. It's that simple. Caitlin Clark absolutely shutting it down. And then we have to get into this as well. Don't you love to see it? Don't you love to see it? ESPN top 3 betting odds for MVP as of today. You got A'ja Wilson, Caitlin Clark, and Olivia Miles. Now, what will be very, very interesting here is we saw the Indiana Fever go out and do an MVP campaign for Kelsey Mitchell last season. They went and wore shirts. They wore all types of, they got shirts made. They damn near put a Kelsey Mitchell MVP logo in the middle of the court and got rid of the Indiana Fever logo last season.
That uncertainty only made the controversy spread faster, because every new rumor generated another wave of reactions. And that's where Stephen A. Smith entered the conversation. When the viral footage and surrounding debate reached sports media, Stephen A. Smith had exactly the kind of platform capable of turning a social media controversy into a national discussion. Rather than treating the moment as just another basketball highlight, he approached it as a conversation about accountability, expectations, and the enormous pressure that comes with being one of the most recognizable athletes in the sport. His commentary added another layer to an already explosive storyline. The bigger question wasn't simply whether Angel Reese missed the layup. Great players miss open shots. Superstars miss game winners. Even the greatest athletes in basketball history have had moments they would rather forget. The real question was how an athlete responds when the entire basketball world is watching, when the mistake becomes a viral clip, and when a longtime rival happens to be standing on the other side of the court. That's what makes moments like this so powerful. One possession can change the conversation around an entire game. One reaction can become a headline. One viral clip can create millions of opinions overnight. And when two highly recognizable young stars are involved, every facial expression, every celebration, and every mistake gets magnified. Clark and Reese don't need to personally declare a rivalry for fans to treat their matchups like major events. Their history, their contrasting playing styles, their college battles, and their enormous fan bases have already created a storyline that extends far beyond the basketball court. Every meeting carries another layer of expectation, and every big moment immediately becomes part of the larger narrative. That's why the missed layup became so much bigger than 2 points. It became a test of composure. It became a test of resilience, and most importantly, it became another chapter in one of the most closely watched rivalries in women's basketball. But here's the part that often gets lost when the internet goes into overdrive. One mistake doesn't define an athlete's entire career. Reese's legacy won't be determined.
A lot of money, very fast, and she was just thrust into a spotlight. And, you know, Stephen, when you were 22, if Stephen A was given millions of dollars, we could have fancy cars. You know, I'm sure that you probably had some decisions that you made that you weren't excited about and that you're glad that maybe the entire world didn't have to learn about. You know, so the difference here is that we're having to watch her learn this in front of everybody. Mm-hmm. And so I want to give her grace in that way, but I also want to encourage her to bring her Instagram platform back, because that is her brand. And she built that for the last X number of years, and now she can use it as a platform to market herself. But you have to be cognizant that no matter how you step out of your house, you are now Angel Reese, and you will always be picked apart, unfortunately. It comes with the crown. You're a queen, you're beautiful, you know? So you just have to remember that if you aren't ready for the scrutiny, if you're not ready for the heat, then, you know, you just gotta be mindful that what comes with it. You have to be mindful with what comes with it.
I got to say to you, Tori, I got to push back on you a little bit.
Okay.
I think you're being a little bit too PC. Let's call it what it is. I am not trying to say that she should be criticized or she is wrong. What I'm saying is by pulling it down, clearly you felt there was something wrong with it. Now, yes, you are 22. Yes, you are young. And there's a lot of things that we didn't want people to know about when we were her age. Fair enough, especially me, okay? Because I'm 30 plus years removed from that age. I got that part. There was no social media then or whatever. But here's my point to you. She knows this social media. She is not dumb. She's quite a brilliant young lady. She's very smart, very accomplished. And on top of it all, she is in this age where she does know social media exists. And she has exploited it to her advantage. And so when you take that into consideration, that means you're mindful.
Be determined by one missed layup, just as Clark's career won't be defined by one reaction caught on camera. Both players have already accomplished far more than a single viral moment can explain. The real story is what happens next. Does Reese respond with a dominant performance? Does Clark continue building her resume? Does their rivalry become even more competitive as both players mature? And when they meet again, will this controversial moment become motivation for another unforgettable chapter? That's the question fans are waiting to see answered. Because in professional basketball, the fastest way to silence criticism isn't with a statement, a social media post, or an argument. It's with what happens the next time the ball goes up, and if history tells us anything, the next chapter of Clark versus Reese is going to have plenty of attention on it.